How you doing, everybody? It's me, Shane. I'm here to give you another episode, another Digimon Adventure, semicolon, 2020 episode review and recap. Today's episode is episode 65. And today's episode, which I almost forgot the title, was The Great Catastrophe Digimon. I'm sorry, The Great Catastrophe Negamon. Yes, that's right. I told you last week the Digimon's name was Negamon, N-E-G-A. Stop that, you. But before we go any further into this, I first want to ask you please give me a like, comment, subscribe. Really appreciate it if you do. I do like engaging with you guys, and it really helps out the channel. So, I realized something, first and foremost. I do thoroughly enjoy, especially with this review and with the Yashahime reviews. I actually really do like doing play by plays for these. It's wonderful. Also helps me when I forget things. That's why I take all these notes in the phone and I write stuff down right here. But I'm gonna do my best to just kind of discuss it, kind of like what I do with some of my other reviews I do on this channel. Cause if I give you the rundown, I'm gonna try to do it really quick. Cause this episode was pretty. I enjoyed it because it was quite interesting. Um, we get the first and foremost the whole void in the sky, the big white void, and you think it's just with by the chosen children. No, it's everywhere. Everyone sees it, and it's affecting everybody. As a matter of fact, all the places that they've been that are on their digivices pop up around them, and they're actually able to see Leomon, and Leomon can see them, and they're talking to him. We get the Muchomon talking to Hikari. We have Lopmon that shows up. She finally gets formally introduced to Tailmon. And legitimately, it's the white void. Anything it touches is instantly obliterated. We see the junkyard area that Koshiro was in. Tankmon touch it, Tankmon gone. Pardon me. We even see Xiaomon that talks to Takaru and Patamon. It's a smorgasbord of who's who, and they're trying to figure out what to do, what's going on. Well, as if straight up out of Stranger Things, this translucent tentacle comes out, and the mouth opens, 5 point mouth, and it's this is happening everywhere now. They're coming out of the void, they're touching everything, and this thing, as it looked like a giant tube, and I thought it was only big enough for one. No, it gets all 8 of our chosen children, and they're getting the whole Digimon treatment. Like their bodies are becoming digitized, like they're getting hurt and staticky. But their digivices put up barriers around them. Of course, they're color coded for the crest and for them, and they're sent up into the void. The Digimon try to get there. Their partners try to get there, but only what 3 of them can fly. Tentamon, Piomon, Patamon. Yeah, only 3 of them can fly. So it's kind of a bust, but they can't get all the way up there because at first they were running up the tube. The Chosen Children's Digivice burst with light, breaking that tubing way for them, and they're all falling. Gerbymon has an idea for them, but they're up in the void, and not only are they looking at this giant black egg that has tendrils reaching down towards whatever constitutes as a ground in this area, they see Algomon, the ultimate form. I keep calling him Argomon. Algomon. His name is Algorithm, so it's Algomon. Um, he's talking to him, and he literally says, if I can make sure I'm on, there we go. All children get chills looking at the sack that holds Negamon, because Negamon is right in the center of it, and I don't have a screenshot to show you this thing. Its form is interesting because it has that single jelly, it has a jellyfish-like body, but it looks like a spiral, but the spiral can be construed as like a face, kind of like Karamon's wide smile, kind of looks like that, but no teeth. But uh, they have data, like data's coming by, and it's like sprinkling off of them, and Coach Rowe confirms it's all being just absolutely destroyed. Um, you know, they know that this is the great catastrophe, and Algomon shows up, and his code, like his body's barely holding up. He has jagged code all over him, and he starts going through opposites like heaven and earth, life or death. Was it uh, was it destruction or resurrection? Saying that Negamon consumes all, and deep within that, we get another glimpse of Negamon within that black ball. Meanwhile, the Digimon trying to figure out how to get up there, but Gerbymon is gonna pack them in his trash can, held up by Searchmon's legs, and Wisemon's gonna get the trajectory to launch them up. Now, before we get to that part, Algomon, yeah, Algomon starts, he repeats opposite things over and over again, and he says, the war was caused by Negamon to incite the end of all things. And in the digital world has negative law, and the negative law means nothing dies. And we get that, we get a nice little example showing Angemon, Angemon being destroyed after it met TK, Takaru, turning back into the Digi Egg. That is naturally what is supposed to happen with all Digimon, unless your code is absorbed or you're completely erased somehow, like what's going on right now. They always turn back into a Digi Egg. They turn back into a Digimon. And Algomon says this is because the digital world, it insists on surviving and staying around. And now, Algomon turns into his tentacle mode that we have seen in the first two episodes of Digimon Adventure 2020 semicolon, and his tentacles are wrapped around the chosen ones. Again, they got those barriers up, so they're not being hurt like he's being hurt. So our chosen children's partner Digimon, they're launched into the sky. Of course, all the rookies, they're calling out to their kids. It's anime, they're gonna do that. And the rookie form is the champion forms of Algomon are coming out of the white void to try to stop them. So they're getting shot with Algomon champion forms attacks. They're being blocked all along the way. Now the Algomon ultimate form says, the Digivices are the extreme opposite of what they are. It is a materialization of the digital world's instinct to exist. If it's fighting him, and then we get this nice cryptic thing from Hikari, like power to be born, power to survive, power to begin. All the talking cryptic is pretty annoying, but you can put it together what Algomon is trying to say. He's more or less giving us some exposition for what's going on. My hair gets my mouth. And Algomon says that at one point there's two instincts: to reach out to the outer world and find the potential of humans. Then we see everyone's just showing up throughout the different points of the series, and one of the points they found the chosen children, and they connected with Digimon, which something Wisemon had mentioned earlier because of them talking to everybody. They have throughout their adventures, they have bonded with so many Digimon. It's incredible the fact that they have these friendships, which is essentially to having more partners. But I digress. And uh, we do get the flashback to the Crest explanation from Wisemon because one connection found them, and Digimon opens up a new path to the world, and humans created the network, and the network was filled with chaos data, fear, anger, all these negative energy, and Negamon chose that energy as opposed to the energy that came from the children, which is it makes sense because this is what Devimon has been using the power of evolution to try to keep everybody alive, and it makes sense now. This is all making sense. They didn't mention it here, but this all makes sense because Algomon says Negamon chose energy to power and produce the next disaster after disaster, and we get flashes of Nidhoggmon. That entire arc was rough because Nidhoggmon was strong. Like leading up to him, realizing he was doing all that stuff, rough. Devimon, that arc, rough. And then we have the Millennium Mon, it was me, Austin. It was Negamon all along causing all these things. Because even Joe mentioned last episode, I believe, there are dark Digimon, but not all darkness Digimon are just they're not necessarily evil. And I love that they took the concept from Digimon Frontiers and said, "Hey, everything has good and darkness in it. It's just what you choose to do with it." So, with all this negative energy, it led Negamon to want to consume more and more. And Koshiro and Yamato basically they tag team this one where Koshiro says all that negative power that started to swell and take over the purpose of Negamon has overwritten it, and that's why it's trying to get rid of everything. And Yamato saying so its main purpose is not just to consume only. And Agumon goes in and says it's going to consume all, it's going to consume souls, and then infinite void will come. It's really weird how we get these instances where like it's this god figure like Yggdrasil. If you guys are fans of those Digimon movies, the ones with the antibody X's with Yggdrasil, and even in Digimon Data Squad, what's it called? Digimon Savers, I believe. Digimon Savers. Yggdrasil, the world trees, basically saying, "Hey, we're gonna get rid of everything, restart it, because I don't like how this is going." That's essentially what this is, almost. It's more of a corruption, which I actually want to know what Negamon's original purpose was. Was his original purpose to just get rid of everything? Because it started the Ancient War, which is crazy. So, in between this, when Algomon changes, he gets this dark purple thing going on. Turns into his mega form. He's able to break the barriers that the children have. So now they're being heard. And the filter over this, I don't know how old you guys are that are watching, but have you ever seen old tube televisions? That type of filter, that type of static screen, it's everywhere. So, again, the part of Digimon, they're trying to come from the out, trying to get inside. They're having a lot of trouble, but suddenly another blast comes from Gerbermon's cannon. Even Gerbermon's kind of surprised. It's Komondamon. He launches himself forward, catches all the Digimon, and launches them even further in the air and gets them through. Now, the music's swelling at this point, and I know what you're thinking. It's not break the chain; it's be the winner. And we get that bond between Agumon and Taishi because he calls out to him. This creates the connection that Agumon could turn into Greymon. We get that near full evolution sequence because they still got these champion forms chasing them. Greymon takes them out, catches his buddies, and they all go all the way up. And we get the Gabumon into Garurumon sequence. He cuts them all free. Everyone's going to rapidly evolve into their champion forms. Then everyone evolves into their ultimate forms because Algomon says to them, and this guy's dying. He's actually dying in this void, still working for the villain. And he's saying, destruction is in sight, yet you choose to resist and fight. Don't know if they meant for that to rhyme, but it did. And he says, since your decision is made, all right, cool. He shoots that beam from his mouth. Every and I love how the angels start the evolution chain. So with the champion forms outside of Greymon and Garurumon, the Angels started that. The Angels started their ultimate evolution chains. Everyone follows in suit. Everyone fires their beam attacks. We get small evolution sequence for into the Metal Greymon and Were Garurumon. No one else has evolution sequences. This is what it's the second to last episode. They're gonna sneak these in a little bit. And this guy, if you remember how the Mega actually you never did get it. I did show you guys. I showed you guys a picture of Mega Algomon. And when I review episodes 1 through 3 before Ghost Game comes out, I'll show you his form again. Fires a second beam from that long, like it's from head to his torso. Fires a second beam. And when it looks like it's going to go through them, music changes instantly. Actually, the music changed partway through the Ultimate Evolutions to break the chain. So now they all rapidly digivolve into their mega forms, starting with the angels, and all of them burst through him. So it's like, well, where's the gray and where's the Garuru? We get mixtures of their full evolution sequences. They break through, They break through this guy on the other side, and it looks great because their energy is zigzagging, cutting him up, and they break through him. And Taichi, by the way, this entire sequence, because I know I'm going through it from the end of Champion all the way to this mega sequence. They played the full Break the Chain song. It's a really good song. Please look it up. And Taichi says, we're never going to give up. While Algomon is still broken and in tatters, floating, he's saying it's time to consume everything. Negamon. It's time for, he says a lot more than that, but, the time to come consume the world. And in the real world, there's a crack, a digital crack in the sky. That's where episode ends. Especially when the episode has tons of action in it and long speeches that I do think you all should watch. I can only give you snippets of it. We get quick instances like this. So, the encyclopedia for today is, of course, Ophanimon. We get Tailmon talking about her mega form, saying those high heels are hard to walk in. Of course, Koshiro mentions for her to wear paw pads, and he's forgetting the fact that she's actually a human in that form. Well, humanoid in that form. The one that fights with compassion and love, the motherly form of all angels. And next, they gotta pull out a miracle, right? We're getting the flash of Omegamon, Omnimon, for those of you who are in Western English speaking places. Yeah, I'm wondering if I'm wondering if this is gonna be a setup for the sequel, because it's been confirmed they're gonna do a sequel to Digimon Adventure 2020 reboot. First Ghost game is gonna come on in a couple weeks, I think in October, and they're probably working on it now, figuring out what they're gonna do. If they're gonna give us the Digimon Adventure 02 with that, and they probably will, because we get flashes of like the darkness coming into the real world. You see children with their pads just looking all around at this stuff. Um, like I said before, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense for Omnimon, Megamon, Omegamon to show up in the very early beginnings of this series. Because Negamon has been here from the beginning. It used its emissaries, the Algomon, to go out and cause trouble. And by causing trouble, it was going to be the end of the world. Not just the digital world, but the real world. And even Lopmon was lost. There was no one who could really do anything about this. But when Taichi and Yamato showed up, and there was Koshiro coaching them through this, they just happened to be the ones whose partners made that miracle years ago. Omegamon showed up years ago during the Ancient War. So this makes sense. Everyone going, oh, you showed it too early. No, it's actually all a part of the story, and I appreciate that. I put away my notes too soon. Another thing I really like, the opening sequences for, and by the opening sequences, the openers, that the opener does never change, but they have changed the images. Like when we saw the flash of War Greymon, if you're a young kid, you don't know who War Greymon is, you're like, oh, what's that? And that scene actually shows up twice, actually. Once when, he was just a silhouette War Greymon, and again when he's the fully evolved War Greymon. I like how inside the void we get all the champions, and it's just like the opener. Even when Agumon and Taichi were fighting back to back, that actually happened before they fought Ogremon. I really like how the opening of this show, even the endings too, kind of give a flash. Because in the ending that we've had for the last 10 to 15 episodes have been Taichi catching Hikari, Ophanimon in the background turning into Omegamon. And that's how the miracle happens. The miracle happens because the great angel Digimon give them the power. But the first time they got Omegamon, they had to push through. It had to be a miracle because the world was going to end. The second time they did it, the world was going to end. It just so happens that when fighting Devimon and Millenniumon, they had alternate ways of solving those issues, which bravo, because I do think everyone, myself included, would have kind of got sick. It was like, oh, so you got to go to Omegamon to fight everybody, and it made so much sense for Devimon to show up after the first time they had Omegamon, after the second time they had Omegamon to beat Negamon, they were wiped out, tired, and didn't know what was going on. So, um, I already mentioned both songs. I already mentioned all the bad guys. I'm hoping that this leads into getting a reboot of Zero Two Digimon Adventure Season 2. All of the characters, and a lot of people are still hating on Takaru and Hikari. Look, outside of the weird cryptic stuff that they did with Takaru in the very beginning, they did with Hikari when it came to Angie Woman, they have been very competent. Like, Takaru hasn't been whiny at all. Hikari hasn't been uh, a mute, because she was relatively mute because she showed up towards the middle to end of the original Digimon Adventure. So they are not annoying. They are actually nice. Actually, everybody's not annoying. Mimi grates my nerves, but even she has more character than the original, and I appreciate that. So hopefully, when Davis shows up with Ken, Yoli, and Cody, I do not know their Japanese names. I will say them once they come up. Once all of them show up, I expect Daisuke to be, you know, Daisuke would probably be the annoying one because his personality was very much out there and flamboyant. So I look forward to those guys not being as snippy with each other. I'm telling you, the dub may seem like, why? How are you all friends? Because you all talk a lot of trash to each other, a lot of shit to each other. So I'm looking forward to Ghost Game. Gamamon. Gamamon looks so nice. I really want that vital bracelet that has him on it. It's as if I'm hoping that one of his ultimate form, his mega form, is like a side evolution to Triceramon, because Triceramon is one of the oldest Digimon, one of the oldest Ultimates. Uh, it's right up there with Greymon and Tyrannomon. I hope they do that Digimon line justice. They've done a great job so far with all their pets, like giving Gatsumon a baby form and giving Golemon, him and Golemon ultimate mega forms. Even those are even split ultimate mega forms because they have the Bancho Golemon and the Meteormon and stuff like that. So they're doing a great job. I expect good things. Last episode next week. It's bittersweet, but I'm looking forward to it. Please let me know what you thought of this episode in the comment section down below. I didn't give you a rating. I'll be honest, I'm going to give it 4 because it connected the pieces. The animation wasn't horrible at all. The effects and the visualizations of everything that was nice. Purely because I would give this a 3 otherwise. Purely because it connected so many dots, even if it seems cryptic at first. So many connections. Again, let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. Give me that like. Really helps out. Subscribe, and if you already subscribed, hit the notification bell. We get not only do you get to be notified of more videos like this, I do videos like this every Sunday. Always Digimon Day on Sunday. As always, share the video so others can see what a great time we're having. And please, be good, be blessed. Wash your hands. Wear your mask. Be safe out there. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. Please don't be a jerk. Remember, if you ever need to talk to somebody, there's someone out there that cares about you. I don't care who you are. Somebody out there cares about you. All right? All right. And I will definitely see you next time.